Hello everyone, I'm back in today's English class after a long time. I hope all of you are doing fine. Fine. We are tired of isolation, aren't we? We are all confined to our homes, feeling bored, frustrated, irritated. Yes, we are unable to attend school, meet friends, or go shopping. Students, just imagine the condition of animals. They are in isolation their whole lives. Yes, they are confined to the cages for years and years. Students, we all are guests on this mother planet, not masters. So I feel the animals should not be kept in captivation. I hope all of you agree with me, and by now you might have guessed what is today's topic. Today we are going to discuss about Poem 3, A Tiger in the Zoo by Leslie Norris. Leslie Norris was a famous Welsh poet and short story writer. His works achieved several awards. His famous literary works were like Ransoms, Finding Gold, Phoenix, etc. At the end of today's class, you will be able to appreciate the beauty, the language, or the elements of poetry used. You will also be able to recite the poem with style, rhyme, and rhythm. So, let's get started. Students, please open page 29 of your textbook. Before I start explaining the poem, let me tell you the gist of the poem. Here, the poet is contrasting the life of a tiger in the zoo and the tiger in wilderness. Yes, let's check with the poem. He stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps of his cage, on pads of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. In the stanza, the poet is talking about the appearance and the movement of the tiger. So here, vivid means bright or colorful. So when we look at a tiger, we can easily identify it because of the very clear stripes on its body. And it is in a cage. And the way it is walking, it is not making any sound as its pads are velvety. So there is no sound coming out. And why he mentioned few steps is the length of the cage is very small in his quiet rage. And how is he moving about in the cage? With quiet rage. Here, rage is anger. He can't express his anger. It is suppressed. He is helpless. That is why he is quiet. Yes, we followed the first stanza. Let us go to the second stanza. The second stanza. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass, near the water hole where plump deer pass. So here, lurking means like waiting in ambush. In the second stanza, the poet now was feeling pity because in the first stanza we saw the tiger in imprisonment, isn't it? He was feeling pity for the tiger. Now he imagines the tiger to be in wilderness. That's why he says that suppose it is lurking in the shadow, sliding through long grass. Here sliding means walking very slowly. Why it will be walking like that? Because it would be waiting for its prey. And how could it get its prey? Some animals might be coming to the water pool over there. Maybe it was a hot summer afternoon and the animals would be coming there to drink water, and it would be a nice chance for him to catch the prey. And what kind of prey is mentioned over here? It might be a very plump deer. Plump here is fat or very fleshy. It will be waiting near the long grass for any prey to come. Yes, I hope you understood the second stanza. Let's go to the next stanza, the third stanza. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. Now here, in the second stanza, it would be waiting for the prey to come. Now, if suppose it did not get any prey in the forest, what it would do? Now, it would be coming very close to the edge of the forest where there is a village nearby, and it would be snarling and growling. Snarling and growling means it would be showing its teeth, white teeth, canine teeth, and it would be growling. And this growling and snarling would really bring terror in the villagers who are staying in that village. Actually, the poet is giving us a hint to us, that is humans, that if you harm or destroy the natural habitat of animals, they will be forced to enter into the towns and villages. Yes, very nicely shown by our poet. Let us go to the fourth stanza. But he's locked in a concrete cell, his strength behind bars, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. So, in this stanza, the poet again talks about the tiger in his cell or the cage. It's imprisoned in it and is, in spite of its strength, it's unable to do anything, like helpless. And what it does, it is moving around in that small or less length of the cage. And he mentioned out there concrete. Concrete means strong cell or the strong cage. And he's stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. And we all know that people visit a zoo to look at all the animals, and while the visitors are passing by, he is ignoring them. Do you know why he is ignoring them? The poet feels that the humans are not worried about how to release the tiger from the cage, but they are just visiting and enjoying looking at the tiger in the cage. So in the morning, it is it's not having any rest as there are many visitors in the zoo. Let's go to the last stanza. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. So, in the next stanza, the poet tells that in the morning it had no rest, and the same repeats during the night time also, as it could be hearing the patrolling. I hope you know what's the meaning of patrolling, like guards moving around, no, checking security. So when they are moving around with their cars or the sounds made by them, it is unable to take rest or sleep. And what is it doing? It is watching the sky and the brilliant stars in the sky with its brilliant eyes. Here again, the poet imagines or feels that the tiger is looking at the heaven and is thinking or asking heaven like when it will be going into its natural habitat or when it will be released from the cage. Yes, very nicely depicted by Leslie Norris. Let me sum up with the poem and tell you what's the moral we have gained from this poem. So here our poet very naturally contrasts between tiger which is in captivity and a tiger which is in the jungle, how it is enjoying. Yes, and he also very impressively talks about freedom and captivity. What we learn from this poem is that we should not confine the animals to cages and allow them to live in their natural habitat, as every living being's instinct is love for freedom, and we need that freedom, isn't it? Yes, children, that's all for today's class. Thank you. I'll be posting the homework. Please check.